I'm Chris from Redmen TV. Do us a favour, do yourself a favour, and subscribe to the Liverpool Connection podcast. Do it. Do it now.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Liverpool Connection podcast. This is the preview show today. I am back on it. I haven't been on for a long time because I'm doing the story pods, concentrating on that. And talking of the story pods, please go check out our brand new episode with former Liverpool forward Paul Walsh. He's very, very honest in the interview. Doesn't hold back. Him and Kenny weren't great, the best of friends, but very good. Please go check that out. We've got upcoming Chris Kirkland, former Liverpool goalie, just talking about his time at Liverpool and then the mental health side of things. So yeah, please check that out. But I'm really happy. He's such a lovely lad. I got interviewed by him. God, man, that was what, August? Jesus, I can't believe it. And like, it's mad how quickly this year has gone by. But anyway, we play Crystal Palace this Saturday. It's the late kickoff, and we're away at Selhurst Park. But we've got a Palace fan. He knows his stuff. It's John Hanna.
Hi guys, great to be here ahead of our matchup. Can't wait.
So, you know, big game for you lot and for us as well. You know, we're coming off the back of a hiding, let's just say, by Real Madrid. Like I told you earlier, I'm still in the fetal position. It's hard to put what's going wrong with Liverpool at the moment. You know, after the Everton win and the Newcastle win, it still papers over the cracks that we've had. You know, two clean sheets were really good for us. I think, you know, some people were like, oh, we're back. I was like, no, not yet. And then Real Madrid obviously, you know, taught us a lesson. I think in that game, it was one of our own doing. The mistakes we made was schoolboyish. And, you know, I just don't know where the season's going in the bin, that's for sure. You know, I can't see us getting back at the Bernabeu. But yeah, this weekend, like I said, scares the living crap out of me because I just don't know which Liverpool is going to show up. Like I said, you know, off air, we could either be really mad, take it out on yous lot, or we can be passive and get beat. I'm going for, you know, I don't do predictions, and never have, never will. I just don't do the scoreline. But I just, to come away from Selhurst with a point, that'll do me. And would I have said that a year ago? Not a chance in hell. You know, I would have gone, yeah, we're going there and we're come back with 3 points. It's you know, tough. I mean, you know, use like your last 5, drawn 3, lost 2. You know, you're having a tough season as well. What's your thoughts on your season so far?
Yeah, thanks, Daz. It's so interesting how things are framed and how cup results can really frame the season. So, like our season now, in terms of points where we're up to, is really similar to last season. But because at this point last season we were in the midst of an FA Cup run where we got to semi-finals, we were quite unlucky really not to make it further than that. Chelsea did a bit of a number on us. But the feeling last season was much more positive than it is now. Even though I'm pretty sure at this point in last season we were 12th. It's a very similar amount of points. We've actually played in terms of fixture difficulty slightly harder fixtures at this point now this season than we had last season. But you're right that because we don't have that positivity around a cup run, I think a lot of Palace fans are feeling quite gloomy about where we're up to. We've made ourselves more solid over the last 4 or 5 games, basically since we got hammered. We got taught a lesson by Spurs at our place about a month ago. And so that has been like positive, and it's been good to see Vieira being quite flexible in his tactics. But even then, it's not like we've been scoring goals. So to reassure you, over those games, we haven't, I'm pretty sure, scored more than one goal in a game. Even though some of the results have been good, like the Man United draw, Newcastle draw as well, both at home. We have been a bit better at home in particular, but we haven't been like smashing in the goals. And Zaha is out, which is big for us. So in terms of our ability to hurt you, I think we are not at our best either. So we'll see. I would like us to think how I see, if our season becomes good, it will be a lot about us being just a little bit more aggressive. We brought in 2 new midfielders in the window in January. And that, what we hope is, or what I hope is, that will make us more aggressive in how we play. We've got some good technical players. I think everyone associates Palace with that, Eze, Elise, Zaha. But what we've lacked is a bit of aggression around them. And I hope we'll get there. Maybe against you on Saturday, we'll see.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, the previous fixture between us, if you're a neutral, it was a good match. That was Nunez's welcoming to the Premier League. Thank God he's not been sent off. After that, it was just, you could see it was happening. He's such a chaotic player. He's obviously reminds me of Suarez. Just the way, like, he wants to win no matter what. If you watch the Madrid match, he was doing a lot of the elbows again. He's got to be really careful with that. But yeah, I actually watched the highlights again before I came on here, and watching that, I thought we would kick on. The Fulham match, the previous, and then Palace, I was like, it's all right. It's a slow start, but we'll kick on, and it's just never kicked on. And there's so many just different question marks to you can't just put your finger on one thing on this team. As we spoke, midfield, yes, it needs freshening. I saw a stat. Our lad showed us a stat today. Alisson Becker's had a lot more shots to stop this time. The same time last year, didn't have as many. We're leaking goals. I mean, to have 3 goals Brighton, 3 goals Brentford, 3 goals Wolves. There's something wrong, and we always defend from the front, and we're not doing it. And that's a major issue, trying to play Klopp's system, which is this high line. And everybody has figured it out. And no, it's not Pep Linder's book. Anybody that watches Liverpool doesn't need Pep Linder's book to understand our tactics. That's another daft scenario people have come up with, that it's Pep Linder's books that's the problem. It's our high line. If we could just drop back 5-10 yards, and I'm glad Zaha's not going to be playing, because he would terrorize Trent again. Like, everybody seems to be going down that right channel. A year ago, Hendo was a year younger, and he was able to, when Trent goes forward, he's able to slot in there. Now, it just seems when Trent goes forward, it's usually the right centre-back that has to do right back and centre-back. And that's where everybody just seems lobbing it over the top. Who's coming in, do you think, in Zaha's place then?
So we've kind of mixed and matched a little bit to have a sort of front 4 of Ayew, Elise, one probably of Mateta or Edouard, and hopefully Eze, although Schlupp has played there quite a lot. So we're likely to have a 1 and then a 3. Against Liverpool, I was saying off air, I think that was actually our best performance of the season, even though we only got a draw, and there's been other games we've won. But it was like very disciplined performance, but took our chances well, played with pace and aggression. So none of those front four options have the pace of Zaha. So although he's very technically good, he's also quick, and we missed that as well, particularly I think against you with the high line, as you've been saying. So I would expect probably to start. It would be Elise on our right, your left, and Ayew probably the other side, although they might swap over. Possibly a slope through the middle behind. We hope Edouard, it might be Mateta. That's how I see it. None of them have the pace of Zaha. Edouard is not slow, he's got something, and Elise has got something, but not to be feared in the same way. Is Konate back, or are you still going to have one for Gomez?
Konate's back in training. But it's probably way too early. So I would think Matip and Virgil. Gomez, I do believe, had a tight hamstring. Plus, I think he needs to get out of the firing line. I mean, again, it's one of those, isn't it? It just seems whenever you lose and you keep losing, or the team's not playing well, there's always a fall guy. It used to be Lucas Levy, and now it seems to be Gomez. He's got to put tackles in. If they result in a free kick, that's it shouldn't have been a free kick. I don't think the other night anyway. But he's got to put a tackle in. There's the back pass to Alisson. Was that Gomez's fault? No, Alisson should have cleared it. So he's just in this, firing line of Red supporters, just being somebody's got to, be the fall guy. I still rate him as a centre back. I mean, people might laugh at me, but I still rate him. It's just when the whole team is not playing well, like Gakpo. Gakpo came in, after 4 or 5 matches, he's a dud. Which you've got to give the player more than 4 or 5 matches. But coming in January to a team that has low confidence and not playing well, I mean, what do you expect? But I expect, Virgil, Matip, Trent, probably Robbo, but the midfield I cannot pick. I just can't see Hendo, Bajcetic, and Fabinho 4 matches in a row. So I would think it's one of those. I've just got no clue what Klopp's going to go with. I mean, maybe Milner, to steady the ship a bit, put in some, hard tackles, maybe Keita and maybe Fabinho. I think the young lad might need a bit of a rest. Hendo cannot possibly play 4 matches in a row. So that it's the midfield that kind of worries me again. Just, they're very leggy and they just don't seem fresh at all. And that confidence will be nowhere near where it should be. I mean, it's easy for Klopp to come out and say, he said, after the game to the lads, we go again, try and put this behind you. But how can you put 5-2 at home behind you when you were 2-0 up after 20 minutes? That's tough. That if we get a result against you lot and win, it'll be some mentality is back. We're not mentality monsters. We're not mentality nothing at the moment. If we can put in, I just want them to show me some grit on Saturday. Just play with your heart and soul. Give me something to believe in still, and that's my.
Framing it another way, you're 5 points off the top 4 with the game in hand. It is, the framing is, and I know it's they're humans, the players are humans, we have to remember that. And so, getting battered at home by Real Madrid, who were the team you lost to in the final not very long ago. I'm sure that has a like double effect somehow. But you're not far from that having a, let's say it's a draw rather than you've been, but that would be unbeaten. I don't know how many, and you'll be climbing up the table. But just back to the fall guy, is interesting from a sort of opposition fan external perspective. Feels like not very long ago Trent was the fall guy anytime something went wrong at Liverpool. And now, Gomez, he is like your fourth choice centre back. I have a lot of sympathy for him because he's from South London. I think he was at Charlton before you got him.
Yeah.
But coming into an elite game against the Champions League winners, Benzema is one of the best strikers I've seen in my lifetime. Vinicius is obviously like on fire at the moment. But just knowing you're the fourth choice, I don't know, it must, because you kind of don't want to get everything right. You probably put extra pressure on yourself. It's really hard in that scenario. But our version is probably Ayew, because he's one where the manager loves him, absolutely loves him. And Roy did before. And he plays like basically every game. He's like, what can I say? He's like a non-attacking winger. He's like a defensive winger. He's kind of like a fullback who plays up front. And he's probably the fans don't really love. Well, some fans do because he does work really hard. But he doesn't offer that much going forward. Although he is one of the scorers of one of Palace's best ever goals a couple of years against West Ham. But last game we were winning against Brentford till the 96th minute or so, and he did this ridiculous French style Hollywood cross-field pass that just like gave the ball back, and they went on to score. So he's been getting some ire on social media, let's say, and I think he might be our version of Gomez at the moment.
How do you think Vieira's done for you as a manager? As like you said, you're in kind of the same position, same kind of points. I mean, as a Palace fan, obviously, I'm sure every season, just like for us, you want to win the league, but there's a realist in you, can we get in the top half? Do you think Vieira is the man, to like take you there?
It's a really, really good question, right? So last season, pretty much everyone in the ground and anyone outside the ground would have said like resounding yes. You could see progress from the style of Roy. We looked good in attack, in particular, really young team. So there was a massive transition. Sort of the summer that Vieira joined and Roy, we became from pretty much the oldest squad in the league to one of the youngest. We were never quite there, but one of the youngest. Huge turnover in playing staff, both in the first team and the wider squad, and in the style. And he oversaw that brilliantly. And the thing I mentioned earlier about having a cup run, I think really, really brought him so much support and love within the club. Because Roy basically wrote off the cup as soon as he could in every season he had, because he was all about survival. And Roy did a fantastic job with like never spent any money on transfers. Okay, we had some high wages, but literally never spent any money. But was always, I don't think we were ever in the relegation zone under Roy. From when he after like 2 or 3 matches from when he started. But Vieira, there has been some sort of feeling that Vieira's like stalled a little bit. I don't think that, because I think we are part way through a transition, but we haven't got to the end of that transition. We need a couple more players kind of to follow it through. And he has shown flexibility. So I still think he's great. I love him and I definitely support him. And I think he is a really good sort of, there is something extra. I'm just thinking of the right words to use, but I'll just say this. I think it means a lot for a place like Crystal Palace to have a black manager. I think he's the only black manager we've ever had. There haven't been many in the Premier League. There have been a few, at Brighton, with Chris Hughton and Nuno at Wolves and Spurs for a little while, and there might be one or two others, but there haven't been many. And then the other thing, for the generation of players we have, to be working with this guy who's won the World Cup, who they probably grew up watching his years at Arsenal be like such a dominant player for his generation in the Premier League and internationally. I think it means a lot. There would have been some players who were unsure about coming to Palace versus, I don't know, whoever else, Brentford, Southampton, whatever other team. And I'll get to play with Patrick Vieira and work under him. I'm pretty sure that sort of brought a few players our way.
Do you think, because, every transfer window, Zaha comes up, like every transfer window. I mean, when was it? Was it this last season? He was close to leaving. I mean, obviously, when you do have top players, they're going to be, linked to certain clubs. With him, though, I mean, has he signed a new contract, or what's going on with him? Because I think when you have such a good player like him, you've got to get some look. Do you have the vision of Vieira? Because if you don't, there's the door.
Yeah, it's an interesting one with Zaha. He is our best ever player. He's played for Palace for more than a decade. He's scored loads he might be our record scorer, I'm actually not sure. I don't think he is our record scorer quite, but he probably will be, depending how much longer he plays for us. He was instrumental in us getting promoted. He's been instrumental in us staying up. To be really frank, and not all fans would agree with me, he can do no wrong. I don't want him to leave. But if he leaves, I want him to go somewhere where he's going to win a trophy, play in Europe. I want him to go to Dortmund or somewhere like that. Obviously, I don't want him going anywhere else in the Premier League. But if he chooses to do that, he would absolutely go with my blessing. He's been such a servant. And in terms of his relationship with Vieira, for everything we see, it's been great. And there's a real deep and mutual respect. I don't think it's just down to Vieira, but he has really improved in kind of that. People used to criticize him quite a lot around sort of the final third or sort of being clinical, I suppose you could say. He's really improved in that. He scored his record number of goals last season. He's probably on track to beat it this season. All the while, in many games, carrying our attack and being, for a team like Palace, Zaha is an elite player. I really do believe that. I think he would fit right in the Champions League club, and definitely would have for several years. But if he was playing for Liverpool, you wouldn't get teams double marking him, or even in some cases treble marking him, because they'd have Salah on the other side or whoever. Whereas at Palace, we have developed that a little bit recently with the emergence of Elise and Eze in particular. But for many games, you get teams absolutely double marking him. Even being ready to foul him and get yellow cards and spread it around, because he's our only threat player. He's one of the most fouled players of the Premier League era. So in answer to your question, his contract does run out next summer. There has been talks this week about him going to Saudi Arabia and joining Ronaldo. I really hope that doesn't happen. I think that would be just a shame for him as much as with Palace.
Well, that would all be about money, wouldn't it? And that's it. Because why would you go to Saudi Arabia to play football? Because how old is Sahar?
So he's 30.
He's 30 already. Wow, I didn't know he was 30. But still,
I think he's actually about to be 30 rather than he is 30. He's 30 by the time his contract's up. But he's been playing for. He scored the critical goals in the playoff sort of semi-final against Brighton, 2012. He's been at Palace. Now he's had the transfer to Man United that didn't work. But he was a very young player and he's really unlucky with timing. He was, I think, the last player to be signed by Ferguson, who then left, and then obviously Moyes. He wasn't exactly a Moyes player, so because of that, some people say, "Oh, he couldn't hack it," but he was very young and he was very unlucky. Yeah, so look, he's not on little money. He's our best paid player. He gets about 140k a week. He's not, he's not slumming it, but he is obviously worth and has been worth a lot to Palace. So that's why he hasn't gone, because I think we've demanded quite a lot for him at the various times when he's been close to going, and maybe teams haven't been quite willing to pay that for whatever reason.
Well, nearly coming to the end. So, John, let's get to the nitty gritty predictions. From me, like I said, I don't do score lines. If we can come away with a draw, I'd be quite happy. And what's your take?
I would actually be happy with a draw as well. So let's just sign it off. Let's say 2-2. We don't need to play. Look, I'd love to score some goals. We haven't really been scoring many. Eze came off the bench to score against Brentford. I'd love him to start and sort of being given a bit of license to play in a number 10 role. We'll see. But my prediction would be a draw as well.
There you go. You heard it here first. Both of us predict a draw. So, let's just hope it's a good match. It's a good watch. It's the late kickoff. So, you can sleep in, you can have your brekkie, you can have your lunch. Well, I can. Hopefully, good match. Good watching. But I appreciate everyone listening. Thank you, John, for coming on. Again, thanks for having me last time, not on a pod, but asking me questions for. Now, tell the viewers what you did last time.
Yeah, so I write for a Crystal Palace website called The Eagle's Beak. We're big on Twitter as well. And I talk, before every game, I have a bit of a chat, a bit like this, with an opposition sort of podcast or fans group, and then write it up. So I'll be doing the same, and I'll put it live on Twitter probably on Friday evening. UK.
Nice one, John. So please, thanks everyone for listening. Please like, subscribe, get in your notifications, and also just want to say, if you're looking for independent Liverpool merchandise, please go to weareliverpool.ie. There are some fantastic beanies and t-shirts on there, and they will be doing some brand new basketball jerseys with Virgil van Dijk and I believe Mo Salah and a few others. So look out for that. So go check them out. Until next time, I'll see you later.